This is a weird thing to say, but I've been thinking a lot about 49ers quarterback Sam Darnold. I have. It's true. I was walking around the other day. I don't know how this happened. You know what? I think I saw a picture of the 49ers practice facilities, really what happened. I was like, ooh, what a nice building. Like, what a nice place to go to work is what I thought. And then I went down this rabbit hole and I thought about Sam Darnold, the 49ers quarterback. Currently, I believe he's their number 2 quarterback behind Brock Purdy. And I'm just so happy for Sam Darnold. He's in a situation where there's not really any expectations of him. He can show up to work, do the very best he can, and through the highs and the lows, there's not a lot of scrutiny on him. There's no pressure. He's working in a building that's a great place to go to work. Really, truly, the 49ers practice facility is awesome and like such a cool place to go to work every day. He's in Northern California, which is close to his family in Southern California. Remember, he used to be in New York and Carolina. Now he's just, like a short plane ride away from his family or them coming to see him. And if Sam Darnold gets an opportunity to play this fall, he's going to have a chance to do something meaningful on the field. If he ever gets his shot, he's on a good football team with really good teammates and good people around him. Great coaching, Kyle Shanahan as his head coach. I think Sam Darnold's going to be put in a position to do well if he does get put on the field at all this year. Remember, he started his career as the quarterback of the Jets with Adam Gase as his head coach. And you could argue whether you want to, we don't need to have this debate, but you can really look at Sam Darnold's career and say he never really got a great opportunity anywhere he has ever been. And I would imagine that with the 49ers right now, this is the best situation Sam Darnold's ever been in during his NFL career. He's never been on a team with this much talent, this low of expectations of him. He can go to work, do his job, do the best he can, and if he gets a shot, I think he could play really well. I would also imagine that he's likely in the best mental state of his entire career. Again, something about that where there's all these expectations on Brock Purdy. Anything Sam Darnold does is extra. It's kind of borrowed time again, that thing we talked about with Gardner Minshew. I don't know, man. I really want to say this. If Sam Darnold gets a shot to play this year, you never know. Brock Purdy gets hurt, doesn't play great at first. We have no idea. I think Kyle Shanahan's cooking something up where it's like, hey, Sam Darnold, this kid, he's got a lot of potential that's untapped. Never got great coaching, never was on a great football team. I don't know, guys. I don't want to take it that far. I think Brock Purdy is the quarterback in San Francisco. But if Sam Darnold gets a shot, do not be shocked if he does really well. And maybe eventually could become the guy in San Francisco. I really believe Kyle Shanahan signed him for a reason and thought, I can work with this kid. And I don't know, man. I just, regardless of what happens with Sam Darnold, I think he's in a good place in his life. Like, he's in a great building, great teammates, good coaching staff, closer to his family. I'm happy for the guy. I really am, and I hope it goes well for him. But there's that small voice in the back of my head that goes, Sam could play, and he could play really, really well as the 49ers starting quarterback. Lucas writes in, Lucas says this. Yo, Zach, how do you feel about the 49ers going all in on quarterback Brock Purdy? I feel like it's risky coming off his elbow surgery, and also the fact I think he's one of the most overrated players in the league right now. Yes, he was great for Mr. Irrelevant, but a team competing for a Super Bowl should not be relying on him. I love that they took a swing for Lance, and it might not have paid off, but with a team primed for a championship, relying on Brock Purdy seems unnecessarily risky. So are the 49ers relying completely on Brock Purdy? The 49ers made a really smart, quiet move. Right? If you trade for Derek Carr, then it's a vote of no confidence in Brock Purdy. You can't do that. It's too confusing for everybody, especially because Brock Purdy might be better than Derek Carr. We really have no idea. Of the quarterbacks available this offseason, the 49ers made one move that was unassuming and quiet and under the radar. They brought in former top 5 pick Sam Darnold, who's really talented and really good and has never been on a great team with a good coach and a good situation. And the locker room right now, I think, is supporting of Brock Purdy. If you don't start Brock Purdy week 1, and then you lose, players are going to be like, what are we doing? We should have. How about the guy who took us to the NFC title game last year? Why is he not playing, right? You can't do that to a locker room. The locker room has bought into Brock Purdy. He's got to play until he fails. But if he fails, remember, Sam Darnold's waiting there. He's going to be ready. And I wouldn't say that the 49ers are all in on Brock Purdy. If they were, they wouldn't have any competition for him. They've got Trey Lance. They've got Sam Darnold. There's a reason for that. I think you give Brock Purdy the first shot, he probably is going to play well enough. But if he gets hurt, if he leaves any opportunity for a guy like Sam Darnold to play, I think Sam Darnold can come in and play at a high level. And I think that's what the 49ers are thinking, man. I don't think they're all in on Brock Purdy the way you think they are. They're hedging their bets. They are giving themselves a backup plan, an escape pod, if you will. Sam Darnold's their backup plan. And if that fails, they got Trey Lance. I really think that they've got a lot of options at quarterback because of the way they played this. But the worst thing you could have done is brought in a high-profile quarterback to just take Brock Purdy's job. A, that's dumb financially, but B, you can't, it doesn't make any sense in the locker room. It'd be too confusing for everybody. And there wasn't really any great big names available this offseason. The only quarterbacks that probably they could have brought in to help them win a Super Bowl would have been like Derek Carr, who's expensive and overrated, or, you let Jimmy Garoppolo leave. How great was he? Brock Purdy was better than Jimmy Garoppolo was last year. Maybe you trade for Matthew Stafford, but why would the Rams trade Matthew Stafford within their division? That makes no sense. Plus, Matthew Stafford's really expensive, and you probably can't afford that. So the 49ers made this quiet, under-the-radar, low-key move of adding Sam Darnold. And that could, in time, prove to be the smartest thing they've ever done. Maybe it won't matter. Maybe Brock Purdy plays great. They win a Super Bowl. The rest is history. But I'm telling you, if Sam Darnold gets his name called, pay attention. He's going to be ready. The Lemur writes in, I love this name. The Lemur says, what's the deal with Trey Lance? He's viewed as the third quarterback on the 49ers depth chart. Is he still hurt? Have they lost faith in him? Will he be traded? Minnesota Vikings, please, I'm hoping. Thank you, Lemur, for writing in. First of all, the 49ers are waiting to see how things shake out. Also, let's acknowledge the skill set between Brock Purdy and Trey Lance are vastly different. Right? Trey Lance can run the football inside as a quarterback, do design quarterback runs. You're not going to see Brock Purdy running the zone read. So when you're building an offense around Brock Purdy, you need a backup quarterback who can run the same stuff that Brock Purdy does, which is Sam Darnold. There's a reason why when you look at the Ravens quarterback room, they've got a lot of quarterbacks who can run the football and are very mobile. Anthony Brown, Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson. They built an offense around Lamar Jackson's skill set, so they brought in guys that have a similar skill set to Lamar Jackson. Not as good. No one's Lamar Jackson. But Tyler Huntley can run the zone read. So can Anthony Brown. So can, who's the other guy? Josh Johnson's in that quarterback room right now. They wanted guys who can move around and run the football. And look, man, I just think that really plays a part. When you're building your quarterback room, part of why Trey Lance is number 3 is because if Brock Purdy gets hurt, you can bring in Sam Darnold without changing the offense dramatically. So that matters. Also, the 49ers are waiting to see how things shake out. They don't know how good Brock Purdy's going to be. We think he's going to be good, but he's somewhat proven, but not totally proven. And they spent a lot of money, capital to go get him in the draft. Why not wait? Just drag your feet. See if you can ever get him on the field again. If he gets a shot. Because the 49ers clearly believed in Trey Lance when they drafted him. There's potential there. No one wants to trade for him. The trade market's non-existent for Trey Lance. And if they end up not using him, then I do hope they trade him. And it doesn't look like they're going to use him, but we'll see. But what I really hope is that Trey Lance doesn't just wither into obscurity and never play football again. Because, man, I want to see him get on the field somewhere. If he's not going to play in the 49ers organization, there's a lot of teams out there that could use his skill set as a quarterback and need a quarterback to play on the field now. I think Trey Lance with Atlanta would be unbelievable. Do you know how many options they would have running the football if the Falcons had Trey Lance? Are you kidding me? I know Minnesota's talked about a lot with Trey Lance. He's actually from the area, went to North Dakota State, grew up in Minnesota. He's a local kid. That would be cool. But skill set-wise, running Arthur Smith's offense they have 5 running backs that they've lined up all over the field in Atlanta. You got two quarterbacks that go get two receivers. They got Kyle Pitts at tight end and kid out of USC, Drake London at receiver. That's big body guys who go get jump balls. Trey Lance running the Falcons offense would be so much fun to watch. That's why I love Madden, right? Because I can screw around and make up little science experiments with quarterbacks like that. Like, that's what I love about playing Madden is the ideas you have in your head that will never happen, you can make them happen in Madden, and it's fun to play with. So, I don't know. I just hope that Trey Lance gets on the field somewhere, if not San Francisco.